Now, it has been a week since Japan imposed restrictions on exports to South Korea, and concerns are rising that the exports of the three core semiconductor materials could be suspended altogether. KBS has found that photoresists, one of the core components of memory chips, which account for more than 80% of semiconductors produced in Korea, are still being imported from Japan.
The semiconductor manufacturing process is similar to photographing. Photoresists are spread over a silicon wafer to make photographic paper. When a light is projected onto the paper, circuits become engraved like photographs. Japan has included photoresists in the list of materials subject to export restrictions. However, because of the ambiguous regulations, it had been unclear if photoresists for D-RAMs, a major semiconductor product in Korea, were also restricted. Even trade authorities had to ask Japan to clarify the scope of its export restrictions. South Korea's Minister of Trade, Industry and Energy and a semiconductor manufacturing company have found that photoresists for D-RAMs are still being imported to Korea. Another semiconductor maker said that materials for D-RAMs are not subject to export restrictions. It is now clear that Japanese photoresists for D-RAMs and NAND flash memory are still being exported to Korea. This means that there are no problems in the imports of photoresists for memory chips, which account for 80% of semiconductors manufactured in Korea, and only materials used in advanced manufacturing processes of non-memory chips are subject to Japan's export restrictions. In other words, the possibility that memory chip production may be halted anytime soon is quite low. However, the problem remains in the non-memory sector, which is regarded as a future growth engine of the Korean economy. Japan's measures apparently target the efforts of Korean companies such as Samsung Electronics to develop and manufacture advanced non-memory products.
작은 소재 수출 규제에 불과하지만 실질적으로는 한국 정부의 신산업에 대해서도 영향을 줄 수 있다는 것을 과시하기 위한 그런 전략적 판단이라고 생각합니다.
Although concerns remain that export restrictions will apply to hydrogen fluoride, another essential material in semiconductor manufacturing, Korean companies say they could replace Japanese materials with their own, as the technological gap between Korean and Japanese makers is not that big.